Greetings.
I delivered the thing.
I already know.
So you'll go to the run?
Certainly not. I'm not going to pounce on her like a bull.
I thought you didn't believe.
This is no witch.
Musk of
I'm sure I can rely. See you later.
Well, well, you have...
Ah, the product!
Let me guess.
I knew...
I had a dream of my...
You too?
Yeah, it was just when I was getting pummeled by a mob... Misunderstanding, yeah. I've heard you know of some irresistibility potion or whatever it is.
Naturally! Musk of infinite allure! An age-old recipe, maybe even older. Tested by Moses himself.
Moses?
How do you think he managed to get his people to follow him through the desert for 40 years? It's extremely potent.
Yeah, so it would seem. How much do you want for it?
Who do you take me for? The wisdom of the ancients isn't something that's bought and sold in the marketplace. Did Jesus charge for his miracles? But since you ask, how about this much?
What? That much?
As King Solomon said, if you like, I can mix the elixir.
Oh, not again.
Now, is that...
Apologies, Master.
I understand you're impatient.
And leads out the window. About that recipe.
Yes.
Yes, I need it right away.
I understand.
But I won't be drinking it. So what is it you want from me now?
Ah, my dear apprentice, everything's gone to the devil. I'm living from hand to mouth, sleeping on straw, and the local peasants won't buy from me. They say they don't trust me, as if I... Does this look... I'm an honest trader and...
A regular good Samaritan.
And any time now the slanderous gossip will spread here from Sassau. I should leave before things get worse. So what's needed is to give...
I'm not going to go around beating people for you.
What do you take me for? I wouldn't hurt a fly. Violence is for the dull-witted. We must gently demonstrate to them the necessity of buying my...
Revenant?
The dead, returned from the grave, a corpse.
Yeah, I saw something like that once. But it was just some drunk going home from the tavern after losing all his money at dice.
Don't make light of such things.
Set fire to it and piss on it?
You're not taking this seriously at all, are you? You are my trained apprentice, but the ignorant villager is entirely...
And how do you propose to do...
Well, we'll need a grave. There's one along...
What's that?
Well,
Not entirely. What is...
you have to...
Why this particular grave?
The locals don't like to talk about it, so it's surely got some sinister past behind it. And in places like that, revenants sprout up like mushrooms after rain.
Well, if that's how it is, we could open old wounds. That could easily set...
Then it would be best if no one...
I'll need a spade.
Yes,
And what am I to do with the remains?
keep them. Human remains.
Great.
There's a gossip in every village. Here, too, a woman who'll spread news quicker than a...
And what am I to tell this?
All you have to do is casually mention the...
Where does this woman live?
The last house on the left, on the road to Sassau. She was the first person I met here, and the rumor...
And that's all?
Not quite. You should ask...
So, dig up the grave.
And the remains. Don't forget to remove...
I might have known any task for Capon would turn into some insane escapade. Grave robbing. Jesus.
Problems with stomach ulcers? Buy my potions made from magical herbs plucked from Olympus.
Hey, who's that?
God be with you, good wife. Has something happened here?
Heavens no. It's quiet here, unlike some other places.
And what about that empty grave?
What empty grave would that be now?
The one beyond the village, alongside the road to Sasau. Just by the river, on the Pine Headland.
How would you know it's empty, unless it was dug up?
Oh, it's dug up, all right. Freshly. And empty. I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
Lord in heaven, what in the name of...
How come it's not in hallowed ground, anyway? Only unrepentant sinners are buried like that. Usually.
I don't like to say. It's an old wound that's best forgotten.
Whose grave is it?
Well, once a long time ago there was a young charcoal burner living here with his wife. There was always a lot of charcoal burners here, but this fellow worked alone. That's not an easy job for one man.
No one wanted to work with him, or what?
Ah, he was a hard-headed fellow who always wanted to take care of his family himself.
Well, I can understand that. It's always better to work for yourself than break your back for someone else.
His wife was expecting, though no one knew it yet. And he wasn't doing well at all. Soon enough they had nothing to eat. And so he took to thieving.
Well, thieving is wrong.
Aye, but when there's a child on the way and your wife hasn't the strength to get out of bed for the hunger, well, you ought to think differently.
And did he get caught?
Well, at first it was just a few eggs going missing from people's hen coops. But then it was anything that wasn't nailed down. And in the end, they caught him.
And I suppose he was harshly punished for it.
Even then he didn't let on why he was doing it. They whipped the skin off his back and banished him from Leditchko.
So justice was done then?
It wasn't enough for some folk. When the butcher found out he'd never get any compensation, he wanted them to chop off the charcoal burner's hands. If the bailiff hadn't talked sense into him, he'd have done it himself with his cleaver.
Well, he got off lightly enough then.
And in the end, he got what was coming to him, and more.
The butcher caught up with him?
No. It was the mills of God turning slowly but surely. His wife bled to death in childbirth, and the child died with her.
I'm sorry to hear that. But at least he knew they were gone to a better place.
True, lad.
Nothing could have been done to save them.
There was no one there. He had no one who would care for his wife. They say on that day he parted ways with God forever, and he turned his back on the village too. I reckon he never forgave himself, nor us either.
The Lord moves in mysterious ways. But how did he end up?
Don't ask me that, lad. I beg you.
Come now, good wife. You can't leave the story unfinished.
I said no.
Salt sprinkled with the bloody tears of St. James Madonna. Greetings.
I know who was buried in that grave. A young charcoal burner.
So begins the tragic tale of the young charcoal burner who became entangled with the devil himself.
Oh, don't start. What devil? He was from Ledetchko. He was trying to eke out a living for himself and his wife, but he couldn't manage.
Pride drove him from the straight and narrow path.
They caught him and punished him, but some of the people he'd robbed, and then when his wife died in childbirth, and the child too...
But when the time came to pay his debt to the charcoal burner cursed God. He came back as a revenant.
Jesus, did you listen to what I said?
Sorry, did you say?
Oh, never mind. What do you want me...
Well, the question is, what would...
He was stealing food from people, right?
We should steal from people?
Maybe just a few eggs from hen coops.
Well, that wouldn't be...
They would if
And they're
the gossip mentioned the butcher. It seems he was infuriated.
and the revenant.
How's that?
Spoiled meat is the class.
I thought it was the...
That too.
So, I should switch the good meat. What about the butcher woman? Her conscience was troubled on account of her man, and she...
So,
What? I'm supposed to scare the...
all right, if you can find some other... But make sure it's the same kind of meat.
What about his wife and child?
Well, how did they die?
In childbirth.
And when his... Nothing too original. What?
How am I supposed to do that? It might be a bit suspicious.
No problem. There's...
He cursed God. That's very serious.
What is it that most brings God to...
They don't have a church there. But everyone will have a rosary.
That's it! If folks start losing...
You want me to steal
Or just exchange...
For what? Great.
So, switch eggs for charcoal, switch the meat. I hope so. Of course, if you come up with anything else...
Well, what if someone sees me in...
They mustn't. Otherwise, it'll end up like...
Sure. And how would I know if I've succeeded? I doubt it'll be an...
I'll be the first to know. They'll come, off you go.
But whatever he did, don't you think he deserves...
Dear Henry.
Well, he certainly won't have any as long as I'm...
But
Help?
me, of course.
But there is no...
Not yet. What are you saying? That would...
What's the...
All right, if you must...
At least the poor wretch...
Maybe.
Like in Ratai?
Well, that's probably the nearest.
True, I could ask...
If you must. See you later. Salt sprinkled with the bloody tears of...
Finally have some rest.
How are you?
What about the dead man?
You still have...
You said to keep...
Oh,
What on earth for?
the bones of a revenant.
All right.
Splendid. Revenant bone. Take care. Rare spices and tinctures, magical elixirs and
God watch over you, good night.
Good wife.
Yes, lad.
You know, I can't...
Have you no consideration for a poor old woman?
It still troubles
What does?
that someone just dug him up like...
And what concern is it of...
Because I couldn't even bury my own parents.
Several people from the village went to have it out with Lev, but he grabbed... Then he buried his wife and child in the meadows beyond...
Lev, you say his name was?
There's 3 roughly carved beams.
For the still...
Nothing. He went back to his work, but never spoke to the village.
So he died alone?
Actually, it was the...
What?
No. Not long after,
And of course suspicion...
everyone was dead certain it was him.
No, I don't.
By burning on the pyre. But no one wanted to waste time with the law. But the fires...
So he was innocent?
He was.
Well, I won't condemn you. May he forgive you for it.
Thanks, lad. I pray every...
Good luck, then.
Rest in peace.
How are you?
Take care.
Hey, who's there? What was that noise? Must be the wind.
Greetings. What business have you? I got you that potion from the charlatan.
What charlatan? He's a man of learning who even cured the Pope of impotence. But thanks, Henry. I really appreciate your help. Once I drink this potion, every woman will faint at my feet. But I'm only interested in one. The fairest creature on God's green earth.
Yeah, the butcher's daughter, I know. And then what?
A rendezvous. She and I, under the cloak of night. And you shall be my herald of exalted words. You will hide and prompt me from a book of poetry.
I'll do what?
Here's a book of poems. I'll need a little time to get ready. Meanwhile, you can learn some poems off by heart. You'll prompt me.
Learn poetry? Me? That sounds... well, not exactly...
Stop wasting time and get to it. Come back to me in a couple of hours. I have to get dressed up and groomed, and it'll take a while before the potion takes effect. Goodbye.
Everything for the house, garden and field. 9 axes, 8 hoes. Get the best
Are you ready, Sir Hans?
Henry, something's gone wrong.
Open up. I'm not going to talk to the door.
That potion tasted rather odd, and now I've a feeling my face is broken out. How do I look?
You're imagining it, sir. You look as irresistible as ever, if not more.
But I feel as if I just fell face first into a nettle patch.
You're just a little flushed from the excitement. It'll pass.
If you're sure. So, what do you think? Can we go to the rendezvous?
Why wait? Carolina won't be able to resist you.
All right, then. Lead on, heart. And you, Henry, follow me. Tell me, Henry, how many girls have you had in your life? If you've had any at all, that is.
Well, there's been a few, but I'm sure I can't compare with you.
Ha! Very true. One day plays will be written about my amorous adventures.
Comedies or tragedies?
That might depend on how things go tonight. There's another very pretty girl living in this house here, but she's already got a suitor.
Since when has that ever bothered you?
Since the time her fellow threw me headfirst into a dung heap and kicked my arse for good measure.
It seems your future subjects don't hesitate to take a stick to you when it comes to minding the womenfolk.
I doubt he would have done it if he recognized me. I was, incognito. We're almost there. You'll hide behind a gravestone or in the bushes and don't budge from there. Otherwise you might scare her off. Hide, Henry. Time to get started.
How do you know it's her who will come out and not someone else?
She got the letter and necklace, didn't she? She knows that that is, her secret admirer is coming.
And what am I supposed to do?
What do you think, dolt? Prompt me from that book of poetry.
Who's there? I can't see you.
Your most ardent admirer, fair maid.
Uh-huh. And do you have a name?
What's in a name? that which we call a rose by any other name would still be a flower, wouldn't it? Start. How?
What are you saying? I can't hear you.
Gentle night, why linger on? I yearn thus for my love so long. Without her words to still my breast, who shall set my soul to rest?
Gentle night, why linger on? I earned this from my love so long. Whip out your worthy silky breasts. Who shall suck my salty bits?
No! And now my heart in sorrow dwells, from melancholic pining swells, since I, alas, was forced to part from the mistress of my heart.
I know my horses sort of well, some alcohol from 9 to 12. Seems I always have whores apart from the mistress of my heart.
Psst. What on earth are you saying?
What's that hissing?
It's, a feral goose here in the bushes.
I shall love you then, my dear, as long as you lie with me here. If you'll not give your all to me, no longer shall I bide with thee.
I shall let you drink my beer, as long as you, buy one for me. If you'll not give your ale to me, no longer shall I buy for thee.
Jesus, Henry! What kind of yokel nonsense are you babbling?
Me? You're the one who's babbling.
You're an odd one. I've never heard such peculiar poetry in my life. Where on earth did you come up with it?
It's not my fault. It's really not my fault.
If I don't get my oats, I'll string you up by the ballsack.
How did you like it, dearest?
Ah, how tender you are. Father is coming! Hide!
Who is that talking? If it's some dandy again, I'll gut him with my filleting knife.
I didn't hear anyone.
Did you hear what he said? But I have a bad feeling about this, Hans. I think we should...
Are you still there?
Still here, my love. How could I have apart from you?
Father's coming! He'll kill you!
He will not. Because it'll never cross his mind where I'll be. Henry, it's time for me to claim my prize. Whatever happens, cover my back. There you are, you seducer! Now you'll see how a butcher protects his daughter's honor. Buy me time. You got some explaining to do, you bastard!
What are you after, you bastard, sneaking around an honest citizen's house in the dark?
I went to mourn over the grave of my great-grandmother.
Oh, yeah. Then what are you doing right beneath my window, eh?
Well, the question is, why are you trampling on great-granny's grave, eh?
Enough of your horse shit. One more word, and I'll have you.
Ah! What are you doing here?
Oh, my darling.
Get out! Get out or I'll call Papa.
My sweet. How can you be so cruel?
Hey, what was that?
What was what?
That noise. I'm sure I heard a strange noise.
We're here in the cemetery. Maybe restless spirits, what do you reckon?
I'd swear it came from the window of my own house.
Well, what's that got to do with me?
Someone's been creeping around after my daughter. I come out and I find you here. Quite a coincidence, eh? So, out with the truth.
You're quite mistaken. I've never laid eyes on your daughter, and if she looks anything like you, I'd rather keep it that way.
Why, you fucking...
What do you think you're doing? Climbing in here, uninvited?
Ma chérie, I came to court you.
Then go and court me from the courtyard.
Don't try to make a fool of me. I heard it clearly. What was that?
Are you all right? It seems to me you're hearing things other folk can't hear. That's not good.
You're saying I'm hearing voices in my head?
That's not necessarily a bad thing. St. Euphrosyne of Polotsk heard voices too, and she founded a monastery and churches and things.
I heard voices too. Well, could have been voices. I wouldn't swear to it though.
Look, fellas, I was standing right here and I didn't hear a thing. Do you take me for a madman?
Whatever you are, I want to know what you're doing under my daughter's window and who was talking to her. I heard it clear as day.
Good neighbour, it can't be denied that old age dulls a man's ears. I'm here alone, praying for the souls of the good people resting in the cemetery. I've nothing to do with your daughter.
That voice sounded different to yours, though. But where did he get to? You must have seen him. Unless you're covering for him.
What? You don't love me?
No, and I told you, get out!
Well, how about a kiss at least?
Out, out, out!
Yasem skutni hori kodelnikov sin.
What the fuck are you playing at? My patience is wearing thin.
Yasem skutni hori kodelnikov sin.
Jesus, stop your damn screeching.
What a lovely evening we're having. Nice and mild, eh? Seems to me it was hotter this time last year, don't you think?
I swear I'll go mad if I have to listen to another word from you. Lads, shut this fucker up. You'll get the hiding of your life.
Is that all you've got?
You know how this works.
You're gonna try now?
Is that the best you can do?
Ooh, there. That hurt. Take that.
You blackguard. How dare you walk around in the dark?
The Lord be praised. What brings you to me?
How did it go with Carolina, Sans?
It was a disaster, Henry. A disaster.
How come? Didn't your recitation do the trick?
What kind of nonsense were you feeding me? Carolina thought I was a thief breaking in to rob the place. I tried to explain, but she wouldn't listen. She told me to get out, or she'd call her father.
Oh, you're lucky I managed to keep him busy. Only now he thinks I'm the village idiot.
Well, thanks for that, at least. Anyway, Carolina slammed the door in my face, so I suppose I'll have to look elsewhere for the love of my life.
Well, back to writing love letters.
To hell with love letters. Imagine. That silly goose couldn't even read.
Ah, shame. She missed out on something very rare.
Indeed. Here's the letter, Henry. Read it. At least you're capable of appreciating my literary talent. Read and learn from a poet. Take care.
I'll finish it off for you.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
How about it, Henry? Can we go? Are you ready for this?
Of course. At last I'll get to see more of the country and have a bit of an outing.
Quite. Let's get to it then. I finally have the feeling we're doing something worthwhile. We're helping to save the king.
Instead of saving his drunken majesty, I'd rather find that whoreson who murdered my parents, get the sword back from him, and skewer him with it.
Cheer up, Henry. I have a feeling you'll get your chance one day, and it won't be long in coming. Forward, men! Audentes fortuna juvat!